Hi everyone, this is my little trip down to Tasmania, or specifically to Launceston, starting off with the plane ride. We stayed at a lovely little hotel called the Grand Hotel. This was a beautiful old building, really well preserved, lots of wood throughout, and it was really cosy and warm for a very chilly 3 degrees at night. Just having a walk down the stairs here, and we're off for a little afternoon walk into the local area. We saw that there was City Park was close by, so we thought let's have a look at that. And we found ducks and also the most gorgeous autumn leaves on all the trees in full change. This one was very luminous, and unfortunately it just doesn't show the sun was on it, and bright. It was very yellow, but this one you can see that gorgeous red, just beautiful. As we walked from the bottom of the park up to the top on it's a moderate incline, we noticed this tree and a couple of others that were leaning. We had no idea why they were leaning, but they were. And there were so many different trees in this garden, and bark, textured bark. Now this was a cannon that had been donated in 1840. There's a bit more of the bark of that tree. When we got here, we realised we were told by the sign that May 1807 was when the government house was created there, and we were standing in that spot. Now, Huss photobombed my shot here, so for those of you who wanted a shot of him, there he is. And this was, to me, the longest wooden bench I've ever seen, and I can only assume it served as something like a cricket watching game. Here are some of the dahlias and roses in the front of the Conservatorium. Absolutely beautiful, and such a variety. So for you lovers of flowers, here they are. They're just stunning. I particularly love the pinwheel type of dahlias. Pretty, very pretty. So many colours as well. Look at those. Oh, the apricot ones. Probably wax on about them a bit, but look at those ones. I'm going to say look at those ones to all of it. It was just so enjoyable. And this one, this little fluffy one. So we headed back, and I thought I'd show you a little bit about the dining room. These were the chairs. They were so high backed. They looked oversized. And the lights. It was really a magical moment. We had salmon with a lentil accompaniment. Huss had asked for not to have the risotto but to have the lentils, and it was with comfy garlic, and it was just beautiful. Now I had the Meander Valley pork belly with the apple on the side and a pickled fennel sitting on a bed of potatoes, and I couldn't go past a lemon tart for dessert. Of course, love it. Favourite, and creme fraiche, but it also surprised me with a creme brulee style of topping. After we headed back to our room and had a cosy night's sleep, we thought we would check out this enclosure that was in the park. Now, these are Japanese macaques, and they were gifted by the city of Akita, 10 of these macaques, or snow monkeys, or Nihonzaru in Japanese. And Launceston gifted them 10 wallabies. Now, I don't know the story of the wallabies, but these snow monkeys have gone from 10 to 20 and still growing. So we had some shots of some little babies. You can see coming up here, this mother was very loving towards her baby. It was interesting to watch the different dynamics within the family units. Then the Conservatorium was open, so I've just taken some footage of the beautiful plants and flowers that were indoors. Just a nice little wander. Oh, that was probably a bit quick, but Got some close-ups now of the foliage and the flowers. Now after this we went for a lovely walk down to the waterfront. I booked a little cruise up the Tamar River. We learnt lots about the river actually in Launceston that I didn't know. Here is the gorge. It was the Cataract Gorge cruise, and apparently it's not a river, it's an estuary because it's tidal. So up this part of the gorge were just gorgeous rocks, and it was a stunning little trip. I really enjoyed the trees and all the rocks. Now just there in front of that bit of metal is a cormorant, and here are some close-ups of him putting out his wings in the sun. Beautiful bird. There were lots of structures and roads and walkways through these rocks, and apparently most of these were built by the help of convicts back in the day.
As we make our way out, guys, if anyone on board's got an imagination, please feel free to use it. On the right-hand side, come into view. It's only a few metres off the waterline. A steel bar drilled into his chin and also his shoulder. Local character known as the Guardian of the Gorge. Now, he's been described as a Easter Island looking character, a Maori, a totem, tiki, pirate. There's a number of descriptions for him. Now, come into view very soon to tell because he's got a bit of sunlight and shade, so not quite as easy to see. Basically looks like a grumpy old man. Now, he's been basically a face that's appeared over about 65 million years of natural erosion. And he's just coming into view up here, guys. Now, the reason why people sometimes call him a pirate, looks like he's got an eye patch on. And maybe he's winking. He's just over here on our right hand side now. Can anyone else spot him yet, or am I going crazy? You can see he's got a high nose, mouth.
Yeah, no, I can see him.
Can see? Yeah.
Looks like a
A tiki, yeah, that's how I'd describe it too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I saw that. Anyway, this little house is a cute little house that a man built, and he realised he could charge people to walk along the pathway from one end to the other. The city of Launceston now owns it and uses it as an artist retreat. Here are some boats stuck in the mud. When we left, this area was fairly full of water. Now here's a shot of 1 hour later, how much the tide had gone out. And if you can notice, there's a sign there saying stop the mud. It's a very big issue. We had a walk back through Launceston to pick up our car. We stopped at Turkish Tikka for some halal food. That kept us happy. I had never tried the Turkish rice before and was quite surprised to find how sweet it was. On our wander back, we saw these lovely rusty suitcases, a little art display in front of a hotel. I loved them, of course. It was the Verve Hotel, quite modern in a town that has a lot of oldish buildings. We picked up the car and we had a leisurely drive up to Stanley, about 2 hours and 45 minutes drive. Here's some shots of the little old antique bakery that we stayed in. And I was surprised to see that the actual bakery stove was made in Melbourne, in Fitzroy. That was quite fascinating. This is just some pictures of in the room, the bedroom. It was just a big room and it just had an attached toilet and bathroom. Little kitchen. Stanley's known for its penguins. We went down there, but it was 6:30 and they didn't come in till about 8:30, so we missed them. But I've got a few shots of the beach. Lovely, lovely little place. And then we discovered pademelons. Pretty sure I heard Huss call them watermelons at one point, which made me chuckle. But they're a part of the macropod family, which includes kangaroos, wallabies, pademelons and quolls. Look at him, he's a little cutie. A little bit rat-like in the face, but not rats. They're marsupials. I tried to get a picture of him hopping like a kangaroo does. We had a little drive up in the evening just to have a look at the nut and see how it looked before we went up the next day. And this is the view from the top of the hill looking down. Then the next morning we caught the chairlift up the nut. A very steep way up. You could choose to walk it if you liked. There was a path. I always think sometimes with this sort of thing, I'd rather catch a chairlift up and see if I've got the oats to walk back. We learnt about the weeds and the hemlock, which keeps on taking over, can be poisonous if used the wrong way, and in fact used to be used as a method of death for anyone who had a serious crime or penalty that required the death penalty. Interesting fact. About halfway through the 2-kilometre walk, we got some beautiful views. We learnt about a paper daisy that was becoming extinct there. Really lovely. You can see how high up it is from these pictures down looking around the bay and the wharf. It was interesting, there was a variety of different flora and fauna around there. And we found a little pademelon there. I did get him hopping. A bit quick. So I'm on the way back down on the chairlift. You can see how steep it is. And the view around the town of Stanley. I've left in a little bit of the sound that the chairlift was making. You can see a man walking up that pathway as I'm on the way down. And this was the view of, that was the little penguin beach there. Right back around to see this steep descent, and there you can see Huss walking down that path. He's hanging on, but as an ex-soccer player he would rather do a lot of exercise. When I got to the bottom, I just had to try the Tasmanian scallop pie, which had curry in it. I don't think that the salad was worth $5. And that was the end of our time in Stanley, and we were headed back to the airport to drop the car off. We stopped at a little place called Penguin on the way back, and for any Doctor Who fans, this TARDIS was the cutest ever. A little free use library. Cute. And that was it. We were on the plane and heading home. Thanks for coming along for the journey, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye for now.